What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to break down why on earth I have a very important warning about the markets that NIO is potentially telling us about, and how this could actually affect NIO. I'm going to break down why the markets could get another fake out rally to try to get everyone bullish, try to get everyone excited, but ultimately, it could lead to some more major downside. Now, before I break anything down about that, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, taking none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $3,000. And the best part is, any could be a free NIO share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in a week. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. NIO is up about 2.79% for the day, and a pretty decent green day. And I was pretty worried about it potentially coming down to fill this gap, but now it's looking like we might get one last pop before it gets ready to fill that gap. I want to break down why on earth the markets may get another fake out rally, why it's designed to trick a lot of people, why many people may lose money on it, and why it's most likely going to be shown on NIO's chart. Now, before I break anything down about all the technicals, I want to talk about a couple of things first involving the news. Something good about NIO is NIO reported that on January 18th, 2023, NIO was recognized in Corporate Knights Global 100 for the first time and ranked first among car brands on the world's most sustainable companies list. So NIO did very well there. I'm very, very proud of them. Huge congratulations to them. And I believe NIO has a very bright future to come. And that's despite the recent court case involving Audi and NIO. So now the headlines are saying that Audi defeated NIO in court over electric vehicle naming scheme. And there is massive truth behind this, but I wouldn't say it's 100% over just yet once you read the full details. So what happened was Audi took NIO to court over naming its vehicles in a way that's too similar to their cars. Basically, Audi has an S6 and an S8 model. They sued NIO because NIO's models, their SUVs, sound too similar. NIO has the ES6 and the ES8. They're saying it sounds too similar to the German automaker, their existing S6 and S8 models. They believe that adding the E is not sufficient enough to really distinguish the difference between the manufacturers and other factors like that. So what happened was this went to court, and the judge said that there is truly a risk that consumers will assume that the ES6 and the S6 in the electric version, that the two vehicles are from the same manufacturer. There is therefore a transfer danger of confusion through association that goes beyond pure association. So the judge basically did side a bit more with Audi's claim, but but NIO is expected to appeal the decision, so it's not necessarily over. But as of right now, NIO is not allowed to advertise the ES6 and the ES8 in Germany, and they could even face a big fine. So they have to be very careful. And it is what it is, guys. I mean, I know things like this happen. I just want to note that I'm not upset with NIO for this. I think mistakes like this could happen, whether it was intentional or not. I highly doubt that. And I also believe that their plan of putting an E in the front, they believe that was enough to distinguish it. Maybe that's very subjective. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. This obviously is not the best of news for NIO's end. And I really believe they're going to improve their company and grow from this. Okay. And I do believe they're going to be much more careful when naming their cars. I am also still very bullish on the company regardless of this news. And I say this because when you look at the way NIO performs and how capable they are, they're getting nice amounts of deliveries. They're still very popular, and I see immense growth still yet to come despite this. Now, let's talk about the charts, okay? Because remember, NIO could still appeal this decision. It's not 100% over just yet, but right now the odds are still favoring Audi. So I want to talk about something else. The market did actually rally a little bit higher than I expected. That's because of this crazy options chain on SPY. We had tons of calls and puts, but what happened was the puts ended up being the worst play of the day, and the market started to rally to the upside, causing shorts to squeeze out of their positions. Max Pain was at 390. We ended up actually closing around 395. So very nice rally on SPY. And this did drag up the markets, at least to some degree. I want to break down what this tells us about NIO. Because when you compare NIO to the QQQ, yes, there tends to be a very strong correlation between them. You guys could see it for almost the entire chart, with the exception being just a few months right here, where NIO did outperform it. But right now we have a relatively low price price ratio. Might try to come up a little bit, but I believe that what we're seeing is a potential fake out rally in the markets. I'm going to show you exactly why and how this could affect NIO. So the first thing to note is when you look at SPY, we have a tendency of trying double tops many times. Let me just show you, like right here, when SPY first started off in this whole bearish rally, we had one push up to this 470 zone. We came all the way down to the 460s. We pushed all the way up to 472. Then we came tumbling down. And right here, double top around 450 before then another big rejection. All right, and then we pushed up here. Instead of forming a double top, we had one top at 456, getting rejected off the trend line before we came down, and then we pushed up. We got another push up, but it was a failed rally before we continued to drop. Then comes this time frame. We formed almost a double top. It was kind of like a triple top like formation here before we came down. And then right here, this was the more recent one. During August time, we had a rejection here. We tried another fake out and we got failed every single time. So now look at the two most recent rallies on SPY. You will notice how we had one top, we failed, we got a second top that actually broke above the trend line before it failed again. Then on this side, we got a push up, failed at the trend line, we came down, and now we're trying to push up again. And it's making me think, are we about to see the market try to retest the trend line and then reject? Or are we going to see another fake out and then it rejects? Either one of them are very possible. Here's what I'm thinking. Here are the three possibilities. Possibility number one is we just start tanking from here, which I think is a little bit less likely, but it will depend on the news cycle that comes out and earnings. But I'm not seeing it happening that immediately. I think we could try to go a little higher and maybe retest this trend line and then get a rejection. Right, that's the second possibility. The third possibility is a fake out rally where the market pushes up. We see SPY break above the trend line. They get everyone excited. We break like to 400 again. People think we're about to squeeze. And then all of a sudden, the motivated sellers and shorts come right here. And the market rejects again. And we start to see a big drop again. Just like this rally where we got the double top and we failed, we got this significant drop. Just like other rallies, it could end up happening again, right? So this could be like a double top. What else is worth noting is on the QQQ, we failed to fill the gap to the upside yesterday. It was not yesterday, like 2 days ago, sorry. And now we're trying to push up. We could try to go for the gap fill at this 285 level and then get another big rejection from there. Because now the market formed kind of like an inverse head and shoulders like formation right here. It looks like it might try to come all the way back up to this level, maybe a little higher before it continues to come down. And we know if the NASDAQ ends up like pumping just a little bit, because I mentioned to everyone, I see this formation forming. This is the head and shoulders, but the head and shoulders does not mean we just crash immediately, right? Look at the way I drew this out. I drew it like this. We push up again, we kind of hang out up here for some time before we continue to drop, right? Something like this. So what this tells me is, okay, the market's going to try to hold these levels for some time. This might drag NIO up a bit, especially because NIO formed what appears to be another inverse head and shoulders down here. right here, another inverse head and shoulders like formation, whether you draw it out like this or this, it doesn't matter. It might try to push up and go for this gap fill now. Okay, that's awesome. And then everyone gets excited. Maybe NIO goes a little higher and then a big rejection. Then NIO comes down to start filling these gaps in the low tens. Then we see the big drop I've been talking about. I do believe that the market's not going to crash immediately, at least in January. I think we're going to get a push up, a big drop, another like bounce, and just trade kind of sideways, but see lots of potential downside to start off. I do believe there's going to be a bit of a downtrend starting. Maybe next week, maybe we get one last push up, we start to downtrend a little bit, but I think it's going to become way more extreme by February to March during that time frame. Okay, that's what I believe is likely to come. I do believe it will affect NIO. So my warning for everyone is this: we could see a fake out rally where everyone gets super excited, right? NIO broke below this wedge or this like rising wedge like pattern we were respecting. We could try to like retest it or to come very close to it again before we get another big rejection. It's going to be all part of a plan to trick lots of investors. That's basically what I have for this video. Thank you all for listening. Please enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon because the long-term future is still very bright, and peace out.